You've probably noticed that different people achieve their goals in different ways. Some do it through trial and error, some rely on rational arguments and reasoning, while others use emotional pressure, and so on. And your observations are correct, because there are 16 sociotypes in total, including theorists, practitioners, creatives, and problem solvers, each with their own way of achieving goals. In this video, we'll go through all 16 personality types, very briefly and with examples. We'll highlight what makes each of them different. Watch this video until the end and write in the comments which of the 16 types you recognized yourself in. Let's get started. The analyst achieves their goals by calmly breaking down causes and effects. Without any expressiveness or pressure, they simply present various arguments and facts, turning even the most everyday problem into an analytical construct. He doesn't possess vivid emotionality or charisma, so he compensates for it with logical argumentation. Since the initial situation is like this, it would be best to act in this way. If we don't act this way, then these are the consequences that will follow. This can be confirmed by thoroughly studying the cases that preceded ours. The enthusiast achieves their goals by emotionally involving other people in them. They generously share the details of their problem, often exaggerating certain aspects. And often, this isn't even manipulation. It's just that enthusiasts genuinely perceive everything emotionally. They find it difficult to estimate time costs, so in communication, enthusiasts are often very wasteful. So it turns out to be something like, I haven't even had time to put down my bag yet, and I ask, is this the 7th compartment? And there sits, well, such an open, lost-looking guy, and he says, Miss, have a cognac with me. Do I really look like the kind of girl you can offer cognac to? I'm begging you, please, he's really strange, come with me. The generator is almost the most creative personality type, so they just love coming up with different ways to solve problems. And often, there end up being more solutions than necessary, because every problem can be solved this way or that. Well, and the optimality of the solution kind of takes a backseat, because the methods themselves come first. So it turns out to be something like you can get a cat down from a tree. First, climb the tree yourself. Second, catch the cat with a net. Third, you could send a dog up the tree. Fourth, you could shake the tree and make the cat fall off. And fifth, you could knock the cat down with a stick. Let's stop there, I think. By nature, a diplomat is a leisurely hedonist, so when it comes to solving problems, he doesn't forget about himself either. He achieves his goals through gentleness, calmness, charm, and attention to detail. Optimizing efficiency isn't his strong suit, but he never forgets to show empathy. He solves problems with an attitude of, everything's fine, stay calm, don't worry, we're already late anyway, so there's no need to rush. So, once again, I'm yelling at the spiders, we'll arrive tired and in a bad mood. And by the way, there's a wonderful restaurant with amazing pasta not far from here. You like pasta, don't you? The idealist often persuades by promising to experience some kind of romantic adventures and emotions. These aren't logical arguments, but rather a promise to feel some interesting sensations. So it comes down to something like, the main thing at this moment is not to look for any deeper meaning, just trust your feelings and live through it. The organizer gets what they want through active and decisive efforts. They're all about initiative and quick decision-making. While theorists are still measuring 7 times, organizers are making plenty of trial and error attempts, and sooner or later, one of their methods actually works. At the same time, people around often note a certain persistence and pressure in Zhukovs. It gives the impression that they just come in and take what they want. In short, it comes across like, alright, come on, sign here and here, because you know I still have to get through 4 more offices like yours today. That's it, I don't have time to sit around and drink tea with you. Come on, sign it because you know you won't be able to get rid of me otherwise. If I need something, I just won't leave until I get it. Ideologists solve their issues by getting other people excited about their idea. More precisely, they create a kind of drama around their demand and present the desired solution as an exciting scenario. Logic is not exactly their strong suit, so a characteristic feature of the Hamlet style is exaggeration and emotional intensity. For example, millions of people lead completely meaningless lives. They are simply born, get sick, and die, one after another, one after another. Many of them actually have reasons to be happy, but they simply forget about the most precious moments in life. However, I won't try to talk you out of it. You know what to do. The inspector achieves their goals through discipline, persistence, and perseverance. This is a completely inflexible and uncreative personality type, which nevertheless makes up for it with their ability to stick to their guns until the end. And in this sense, he isn't afraid of routine because he knows that most people will simply get tired of resisting. He's like a train. Listen to my first and only point. I said no, and that's not going to change. Maybe we could try to solve the issue in a different way. See point 1. The critic achieves what he wants not through emotions or charm, but he also doesn't rush to break through walls head first like the problem solver. This personality type first thinks through a certain system of actions, a kind of algorithm that will allow him to solve this problem not only now but also to resolve it automatically in the future. In other words, the Balzac doesn't just solve current problems but shows foresight and thinks ahead. Like what needs to be done right now so that you don't have to go back to the same old issues later. It's something like, right now I'm writing code for a bot. It will be able to order milk from the store when there is less than 200 milliliters left in my carton. A politician combines decisiveness and empathy in achieving their goals. They have the same force of will as an organizer, but also take the emotional factor into account. That's why they don't hold back on compliments and pay close attention to their conversation partner. So, they get what they want, thanks to their charisma, connections, and by motivating the other person. Also, consistency and logic are not their strongest suits. That's why a politician bets everything on their ability to present themselves. And as they say, they command respect through their authority. So, it goes something like this. How do you find motivation? Open the Forbes list. If you don't see your name there, go out and hustle. Listen, nobody cares about us anyway, and on top of that, we're being modest here. So, my chicks, let's break our previous records this month. An entrepreneur usually convinces their conversation partner by listing the benefits both will gain in the future. They also prefer to optimize everything and get the job done by others, so they're not a lone wolf. The perfect example is Tom Sawyer. He was told to paint the fence, but he got other kids to do it for him and even earned a bunch of treats from it. His signature style is classic marketing. Hey look, I'm offering you a scheme, one that gives you 30% more results with the same effort. Like in the 31st month it's 5%, then 7%, and over time we reach 30% net profit. They take on the cost themselves. The Guardian gets what they want through tact, persistence, hints, etiquette, and manners. Dreiser often appeals to morality and ethics in his arguments. Let's quickly settle this delicate matter if you know what I mean. In a stabilized society, such disputes are simply inappropriate. Some situations can't be resolved, but there's always a way to exit them with dignity. Yes, creativity is his weak point, but there are areas where etiquette has a much greater impact. The humanist achieves their goals through the same empathy, individualized approach to the interlocutor, and emotional care. But instead of the decisiveness and persistence of the Dreiser, they have creativity, which is exactly what they use. To find the right keys to different personalities, they persuade by demonstrating understanding of a wide variety of people. It turns out to be something like, I understand you so well, but you should also try to understand me. It would be one thing if this were a one-time occurrence, but if others follow your example, we'll only be multiplying injustice. Well, I hope that you will act exactly as your conscience tells you to. The administrator approaches problem solving with the utmost seriousness and organization. Even simple household chores are a project for him, a task, a goal with its own schedules, efficiency rates, and deadlines. So, to put it simply, if you ask how Stierlitz achieves what he wants, he just works hard himself and gets others involved along the way. He may not be the most far-sighted sociotype, but he is attentive to details, so to make sure everything is perfect, he often works overtime. As Henry Ford said, everyone was looking for shortcuts to money while bypassing the most direct route, which leads over a corpse. So the administrator is practically an anti-theorist. It's simply work that needs to be done, and it will be done. The advisor gets what he wants through sociability and flexibility. There's a good definition for this: a chatterbox. The advisor fits this description perfectly. Systematic thinking, discipline, and straightforwardness are clearly not his strengths, so he achieves everything he wants through informal communication. If we exaggerate a bit, it's something like, "Oh, come on, it's fine, we'll work something out. You know, I had a similar situation too. Let me tell you, there's no problem that can't be solved by just talking it out." The master, on the other hand, achieves his goals in a measured, quiet, calm, and steady rhythm. He often acts alone, in solitude, and at the same time, he's not the most sociable or creative socialite. But he is diligent, patient, attentive to detail, and very hardworking. So if he doesn't succeed the first time, he'll get it on the second. And if not on the second, well then on the 15th. As they say, patience and hard work will grind everything down. He rarely demonstrates eloquence. Rather, he convinces by his own example. As one GVN once told his employees, "If you don't get it done by Friday, I'll do it myself." That's the kind of motivation. Well, I'm sure you've encountered each of these sociotypes many times in your life. It's just that perhaps you never thought that the ways of achieving goals might somehow depend on the type of perception. But of course, it's not only about that, because a sociotype doesn't describe the whole person or everything about a person. Behavior is not a criterion for determining sociotype, but rather its consequence. A sociotype is determined by the semantics of speech, that is, by how you think and speak. So the most reliable way to find it out is to sign up for a special interview. A detailed description of the 16 sociotypes, their strengths and weaknesses, as well as recommendations for careers and relationships can be found on our website. I'll leave the link in the description below this video. And don't forget to write in the comments which sociotype you recognized yourself in. We seek unity in diversity.